our first speaker for tonight, and the gentleman who started this event, Mr. Larry Parham. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I really don't need this microphone. I know I don't, because public speaking is what I do. So I don't need this microphone, but I want to say right now that I'm proud of Binghamton, because this turnout tonight, in this rain, in this condition, to have you people come out here in support of this issue warms my heart as being a citizen of this community. In organizing, one of the first things I learned is that the first thing that you address is the problem. So what is the problem? The problem is this show that we're putting on, right? This show that we're putting on and entertaining you is the problem. But the bigger show, the bigger entertainment is in Albany. That's where the big show is going on. That's where the real clowns are at, and the real entertainers are in Albany. And some of those individuals, not all of them, but enough of them to influence your lives, are taking advantage of the system. From day one that they decide to run for office in New York State, from the moment you say, hey, that's a good decision, I think I'll run for office. I'm going to run for statewide office in New York. From day one, the first thing that you have to do is decide how you're going to finance your campaign. Period. That's the first thing that you have to do, is decide how you're going to finance your campaign. Where are you going to get the money from? Who you're going to get it from? What pledges, obligations that you're going to make to that individual to get that money. It's quite that simple. There's no other system in the state to run under. That's it. Regardless of what your party affiliation is, it comes down to this. How are you going to finance your campaign? And the problem is, we have no other solution in New York State. We tell a candidate, regardless of whether they're Democrat, conservative, liberal, progressive, if you're going to run in this state, you got to have some money, and you got to go to the people with the money. That's the reality of it. Our problem is big money donors, and individuals who want to buy influence in our government. Because people don't give you money for no reason. I know, I tried. You don't get it. You make an obligation and you make a responsibility to it. So what is the solution to it? We do things kind of different in organizing. You jump from the problem, you automatically go to the solution. Because you can't decide anything else unless you know what the solution is. You can't even decide a tactic. This tonight could not have happened if we did not have a solution. And we have a solution that the governor himself, when he first started running for office, said that I want campaign finance reform as a part of the legacy that I leave in New York. I want to introduce a public financing of election system that would implement lower limit contributions, lower than the $60,000 right now, lower than the $10,000 individual contribution. I want to bring down that limit so that the average everyday person in New York can contribute to a campaign. This is coming from our governor. The governor wanted a bill. The Speaker of the Assembly gave us a bill. It's called the Fair Election Act of 2012. The Fair Election Act of 2012 allows us to have a public financing of election system. It gives us an option in New York. An option that up until this point we do not have. One of the fundamental things of this bill is that it lowers the limit so that the average everyday person can contribute to a campaign. And the matching funds, the system that is based on from New York City, that's had it in place since 1989, is a matching fund system. But it only matches lower limits funds. It only matches those funds under the bill that would come under $250 or less. And that law may change with compromise, but we have a bill that has passed the Assembly that promotes lower limits, smaller contributions, and this is what I love about the bill. It requires that 50% of the money that you raise to run for that election has to come from your district. That's revolutionary in this state. That's right. Clap to it. Clap to it. You should. That is revolutionary in this state, because now if you run, you get money from anywhere. I don't want to call any names here, but we had our mayor speak about an individual, right, that could at one time had a huge pig roast here where everybody came out. And you came out to the pig roast, you didn't care really what he stood for, because he was a person that was inviting the community, and people came out and didn't even vote for him. But at least he had a fundraiser here that everybody could come out to. But when you don't need your district anymore, when you don't need your people anymore, you can raise your funds anywhere. So you don't raise your funds in a big pig roast anymore. You have a little private thing somewhere over in a country club somewhere where people do not know about it really. So those people who are against it do not fight it. But the reality is that you're not raising money from your district. Most of your money is coming from corporations, and most of your money is coming from out of your district. So you never ever have to face your constituents. You never ever have to face the people that you're supposed to represent. A fair election system would change that. It would change that. But it doesn't happen through magic. It doesn't happen because we want it to happen. It doesn't happen because it's the right thing to happen. It doesn't happen because someone passed a bill. There are 3 men in a room in New York State. There's a New York State Senate that this group of people assembled here and across the 9 other cities that this caravan has been to need to come together as one united voice in order to let them know that we need another option in New York State for a person who's running for office. We need a public financing of election system here. We need fair elections because we need people in office that are going to be fair, that are going to fight for our interests, and are going to fight for what their constituents believe in, because they accept money from their constituents, because that is the only way they can run under a public financing system. It's not rocket science. There are action steps that we can take. I have cards that you can call your senator on, right? There are cards passing around where you can speak up and have a voice in this issue. But this is the primary thing. You need to vote with your beliefs. You need to vote for people who will fight for a fair election system. You know why you need to do it? Because you deserve it. You deserve to have a system in place that will allow you to put forth candidates that will fight for your beliefs. You need a system in place that will allow you to be able to go to your politician and tell them, why isn't this taken care of and why isn't that taken care of? And they will have to address it because they get their money from you. You deserve it. Vote for the people that will put us a system in place. We invited groups here tonight that have supported fair elections. We invited them here because they understand that the fundamental truth in New York State is that we need a system in place that would give us an option. I thank each and every one of you for coming out tonight. But if your action stops for coming here tonight, our purpose has not been served. Our purpose is to turn this action into votes, into ways of winning this issue. Vote with your beliefs. Thank you.